Here we are back with another episode of A Prehistoric Life. Here we are back at the Utah Raptors. The new mated pair of Utah Raptors are doing just fine, but they haven't laid eggs yet. And the alpha is still doing fine, but the young male who got that bad gash in the fight is still suffering from it. He bathed in a cool pool just now, and now he's laying down. But that was a big mistake, because now it may look warm and sunny, but the water is still very cold, so he might be suffering from hypothermia. And then with the scratch infecting him, he then passes away. He starts to pass away. But then for the rest of the raptors, they now see that the younger one has now passed away. But they do not take this as a sad thing. They actually take it as a good thing. Because now that he's dead, they actually can use this raptor as a food source. And now they don't have to worry about hunting for a couple of days. But today's episode is not going to be about deadly hunts. It's actually going to be about a very dangerous predator that lurks in the waters. Nearby in a grassy woodland, there is a nice little shady pool in the area. But it holds a dark and deadly secret. Nearby, a Eoceratops is coming towards the pool, followed by a Miragaia, a type of stegosaurus, small, that looks like the Chondrosaurus that lives in Africa. They're heading towards the pool, but they have no idea that this something is living in there. The ceratopsian starts to lean down for a drink. Until the ceratopsian manages to move out of the way just in time. Now the Miragaia is scared. And then he runs away, leaving the ceratopsian. The ceratopsian very aggressive, especially in the mating season. But then the deinosuchus knows this is too much of a prey. He dares an attack, and then he goes back down to the water, waiting for something else. Nearby, a small herd of Prehistoric is wandering the area. And just like the Miragaia and the Eoceratops, they are still not aware of the deinosuchus. But the herd is being stalked by two types of Tyrannosaurs. This is Albertosaurus, a smaller version of the Tyrannosaurus rex, and he is stalking the Prehistoric herd. And then, following the Prehistoric and the Albertosaurus is a little bit bigger relative bigger than Albertosaurus, but smaller than T-Rex. Both these tyrannosaurs are dangerous in different ways. Albertosaurus usually hunts in packs, but this one doesn't have a pack. But he uses his speed and agility to help him catch his prey. But then that Spletosaurus, he uses his bone-crushing jaws, just like Tyrannosaurus, to help him catch his prey. And then his speed and agility. But he is not as fast as Albertosaurus. And also, that Spletosaurus actually has more teeth than Tyrannosaurus Rex. Finally, the Prehistoric finally get at the river. But then, the Spletosaurus then does something that spooks the herd and alerts the Albertosaurus. Prehistoric have really good hearing, then they hear it. Now that the Albertosaurus has heard the Spletosaurus, he'll now have to rush over to the Prehistoric to try to get the prey before he does. The Spletosaurus, however, knows a shortcut. But now, the Spletosaurus is angry, so now he'll have to go attack the Albertosaurus first. But then, when the Prehistoric starts to escape, the deinosuchus drowns the Prehistoric. The rest of the Prehistoric managed to escape without being seen. But then, the Spletosaurus and Albertosaurus stop fighting after hearing the deinosuchus. They see nothing in the water until they see the deinosuchus feasting. The Spletosaurus and Albertosaurus rush over to the lake. Now they see the deinosuchus feeding on the Prehistoric. The Albertosaurus then knocks over the Spletosaurus, knocking him out for a little bit, and then he goes to cook up a plan. He tries to grab the Prehistoric. But then the deinosuchus is keeping a good grab on it. He finally manages to try to get it out of the water. But then suddenly, he gets a good grab of the Albertosaurus' face. The Spletosaurus now sees the Prehistoric floating towards him, so now he grabs it. Deinosuchus lets go of the Albertosaurus' face, and then he goes to fight now he has to go fight the Spletosaurus. Looking for the Albertosaurus, the Deinosuchus did not bite the face that hard, and he's not bleeding that much. So now he'll have to try to fight the Deinosuchus and the Daspletosaurus. The Deinosuchus now grabs the prey. Luckily for the Daspletosaurus, he moves out of the way just in time before the Deinosuchus, and now he'll have to grab the neck. The Deinosuchus and the Daspletosaurus are now having a tug-of-war until now the Albertosaurus has knocked the Daspletosaurus over, but then with great force, the Daspletosaurus now pushes the Albertosaurus into the water. The Albertosaurus cannot swim, and he is struggling. But the Deinosuchus cannot resist a moving target. So now, and takes his mind out to Parasaurolophus, and then goes to take the Albertosaurus and drag him down to the bottom, viciously twisting and killing him. Now that the Deinosuchus is distracted, the Daspletosaurus now drags the Parasaurolophus out of the water. He now successfully pulls it out of the water. The Daspletosaurus now finally pulls the Parasaurolophus out of the water before the disturbance in the water has drawn the Deinosuchus out of the water. But now it is too late. So now he goes back in the water to go feast on the Albertosaurus carcass. And so now, without any disturbance, the Daspletosaurus now continues eating. While that happens, the Deinosuchus slowly pulls the Albertosaurus somewhat out of the water and starts feasting under the sun and continue basking.